Namaskar.
Welcome to Samvaad at Arunima Ankuran on the occasion of 15th August, Independence Day 2023. We're in conversation about the value of freedom with Shri.Sudhir Shroff, who's a life coach and a mentor. Welcome to Samvaad. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Pragya. Thank you for inviting me. It's certainly a great pleasure and privilege. So nice connecting to you and through you connecting to others also. Trying to share something which I have learned at the feet of my guru, my master.
It's a pleasure to have you here. A word about Arunima Ankuran. This is an initiative
Yeah,
for positive social change through self-development. The goal is greater well-being and happiness for all. At Arunima Ankuran, we believe that each person is unique and special in some way, that each person can make a difference, that each person can leave an impact, and that's what inspires us to keep going.
wonderful, wonderful. Very nice.
Let
Excellent.
me let me introduce you to our listeners. Shri.Sudhir Shroff is a disciple of Parapujya Swami Iswarananda Giriji Maharaj, who is an illustrious monk in the order of the Adi Shankaracharya Parampara. Mr. Shroff is a managing trustee of Samvaad Sadhana Trust and Ishwarashray Trust, involved primarily in the publication and educational work of the trusts. He is a life coach and mentor conducting life building workshops for diverse age groups and development camps for the youth, including guided contemplative meditations, interactive sessions, group discussions, nature walks, yoga, and so much more. So, today we have the privilege of talking to him about what is the value of freedom, what are the goals young Indians should pursue, what are the guiding values. How should citizens contribute to nation building in free India? Arunima Ankuran is inspired by the vision of Swami Vivekananda. Freedom can never be reached by the weak. Throw away all weakness. Tell your body that it is strong. Tell your mind that it is strong. And have unbounded faith and hope in yourself. Uh, with that, we'll start the
Beautiful.
conversation. Ek Samvaad with you. Thank you very much for being
Thank you.
here.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
So, first of all, we'd like to hear from you. What does freedom mean to you, and what is the value of freedom?
Exactly. That is the most pertinent question, and that is how we start today our thoughts. Like we know, 15th August is just around the corner, and that will be our 77th Independence Day. We have cherished 76 years of freedom. तो ये दिन है हमारा थोड़ा अंतर्मुख होना. We need to look within. First of all, we need to remember जो बलिदान दिया हमारे शूरवीरों ने, the citizens of India, the sons and daughters of India, उन बलिदान को हमें बार बार याद करना बहुत जरूरी है. याद ही नहीं, उसको महसूस करना जरूरी. You feel it in every cell of your body. Only then it will have an impact on us. We just take it as some statistics, we just discuss it. That does not work. And इस स्वतंत्रता का मूल्य, like it was the value of freedom.
Yes.
We need to not just be aware of it. We need to contemplate deep on it. Especially as 15th August is coming, there's a wake-up call. We need to do that. बलिदान को याद करना, स्वतंत्रता को, उसके वैल्यूज को याद करना, और मैं तो कहता हूं भारत को महसूस करना. Do we feel that Bharat, our master, he says Bharat, Bha is the wisdom, the knowledge, the quest for knowledge, the quest for enlightenment, the quest to evolve ourselves, and Rat, Bharat, being a sustained application in it, totally involved, totally absorbed in trying to evolve from within. So, what exactly is freedom? And are we using our independence properly?
Yes.
Or are we living properly in this independent India, in this country? So when we think about it, it reminds me of Tagore. Everything reminds of Tagore, Gitanjali. So I like to share his song offering. It's a book gifted to me by my master. And Tagore, he speaks about freedom, what truly freedom is. Allow me to quote Tagore, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. He starts with the mind,
Yes.
where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert land of dead habit. And he ends again with the mind, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father. Let my country awake. Let my country awake. So this is, we need to introspect. We need to look within. Am I sleeping? Am I in slumber or am I awake? For the country to be awake, I have to be awake.
Yes.
I make this country. The country is in me and I am in this country. So each one of us, we have to look within and we have to ask ourselves, am I really free? And for me to be free, is my mind free? And for the mind to be free, am I using the mind properly? Can I say, am I minding my mind? We have to start with minding the mind. After that, only we can mind our actions. Because actions flow from the mind. The thoughts and emotions from the mind, they then govern the actions.
Yes.
So entire focus, our entire sadhana, our entire efforts have to be on the mind. For that, we need to realize how important our mind is and are we really taking care of it. He says, mind is without fear, abhaya. The Lord in the 16th chapter, he starts with the divine qualities. He talks of 26 divine strengths which we have got. Devi Sampat. He starts with Abhayam. Abhayam Sattva Sanshuddhi, Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi, Dhanam Damasya Yagyasya, Swadhyaya Stapa Arjavam. Mind is fearless and the head is held high. He talks of knowledge. He talks of love. That is what freedom is. The world is not broken up into fragments. ये fragments होते राग द्वेष है, हमारे attachments and aversions है, हमारे preconceived notions है. We need to set them aside. Without love, without kindness, without compassion, we can never even dream of freedom. He talks about words coming out from the depth of truth. Again, he's talking with the mind. If you see, this entire prayer is just a sadhana of the mind, of culturing of the mind, training of the mind, of making the mind free of the shackles which are there inside. हमने खुद ने अपने मन को उसको चेन कर दिया है. We have to ask, हमारे मन में ट्रुथ है कि अनट्रुथ है? हमारे शब्द किसमें से आ रहे हैं? Words come out from the depth of truth. The Lord speaks in the 17th chapter. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyam hitam chaya. Only then we are free. When the words we speak, they do not disturb anyone, They are the truth. They are for the benefit of others, and they are willing to listen to us. Those words are sweet to them. These words, if they come from our mind, they don't come from our mouth, they come from the mind. Because the mind governs the mouth, our speech, tireless striving. Here he talks of the karma yoga. Karma yoga, only then we are free. And he talks of the clear stream of reason. He talks of the Atma Buddhi. We need to use our intellect. The intellect, it controls the mind. जैसे कठोपनिषद में बताते हैं ना कि हमारी इंद्रियां हैं वो घोड़े हैं. The senses are our horses, and the rein is the mind. And the charioteer is our buddhi. That intellect, that discrimination, that is what Tagore is talking about. The clear stream of reason has not lost its way in the dreary desert sand of dead habit. We are the owner of this ratha of our life, of our body. So unless we take care of our intellect, Atma Buddhi, which the intellect is rooted in righteousness, and that intellect governs our mind, and that mind in turn governs our senses, what we speak, what we hear, what we speak, and what we see, what we feel. Without that, there cannot be freedom. Because unless that, you know what? We are a slave to our senses. The Master, the Guru says, Swatma Vasham Sukham and Parvasham Dukham. Swatma Vash hai. If you are, that is what Swatantrata is all about. Swatantra, self-restraint. Swatantra is not Swachandata. It's not Swachanda. You do anything. No, you don't do anything that you like. So it's beautiful. Swami Vivekananda, the quote which is your philosophy of your Ankuran, it's a favorite quote of mine also. And I will quote Swami Vivekananda about this. Real freedom is not merely doing what you like, but also not doing what you like. Not doing what you like. We can't just do what I like. That is Swachandata. What is that? Is a problem in today's life, in today's world. What is happening? Like for example, we have two parts of the self. There is a should self and there is a want self. There are two parts of us. So there is something in the mind is telling should. You should do this. You should do this. You should not do this. You should not do that. And there's something I want to do this. I want to. Like in today's youth, because I'm concerned more with the youth today. The basic problem every parent comes up with is that they're addicted to social media. They're addicted to online gaming. They're addicted to online videos, and they have no constraint of time. They're 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, they are watching that. And so here they feel they don't know, then they don't know why my parent is not allowing me to be free. I should be free. No.
That's not free.
Free. You are a slave. You are a slave to your desires. So this freedom, जिसको कठोपनिषद में होता है श्रेय और प्रिय, तो श्रेय का हमको चुनना है, प्रिय का नहीं. That is what Swami Vivekananda is saying, and that is what actually freedom is all about how you work upon your mind. And so in the Upanishad, and Swamiji also quotes, Man eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. The mind is what sets you free, and the mind is what enslaves you, shackles you. So reminds me of a beautiful story by Swamiji. It's about a Hitler camp, the concentration camps. So concentration camps, and one prisoner, ex-prisoner now, they have been freed, so they become free. So after many years, one prisoner, he goes to meet his fellow ex-prisoner, They were together in the concentration camp, and they both, with good faith, they were free. So he asked that fellow, okay, my dear, tell me, after so many years of that concentration camp and now you're living a normal life, have you forgiven the Nazis? He said, how can you say that? Forgive the Nazis? No, not at all. What about you? I have forgiven. You have forgiven? I can never forgive. First person said, if you can never forgive, then you're still in the prison. You're still bound in the prison. So this prison, the prison of our mind, if we cannot forgive, if we cannot come out of our baser, of our demonic tendencies, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, our addictions and our aversions and greed and anger, conceit and all that. So that is what freedom is all about. So that is the value of freedom. This is the starting point. If we don't realize this, nothing else is going to work.
Yes.
So I just got carried away, but I think this was most important.
No, I think it's amazing when we look at it from this point of view. You know, with freedom comes great responsibility. I think
Exactly. Without performing our responsibility, we cannot be free. Freedom, on the contrary, I would say, it means performing our responsibility.
Yes.
हमारे कर्तव्य बोध को करना, तंत्र उसको कर्तव्य को निभाना itself is freedom. We feel so good inside. That is what freedom is all about.
Absolutely.
Feel so good with yourself, with your life. So ultimately we need to mind the mind. And when you mind the mind, then the mind then takes to the actions. So in the actions also, Swami Vivekananda says, one may gain political and social independence, but if one is a slave to his passions and desires, one cannot feel the pure joy of real freedom. Real freedom will not come if we are a slave to our desires. So that is, I always tell my young students, you need to be a master of yourself.
Yes.
That is what the Lord tells in the 6th adhyay of Bhagavad Gita. You are your own best friend and you are your worst enemy. You are your best friend if you have self-mastery. And you are your worst enemy if you don't have mastery over your senses. You are the worst enemy. So that is what freedom is all about.
I think I'd like you to elaborate a little bit more on the idea that, you know, with freedom comes the power to choose, make choices, right? And in the present times, I think what we all need is a compass, some kind of a sense of a direction, values that should guide our behavior. How should we make choices that are judicious? So please talk a little about that.
Very nice. We need to, it's very, very important about the choices. When we talk of choices, first we need to understand that yes, I have the capacity to choose.
Yes.
We can have choices only when we realize, yes, I am something. मेरी एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, तो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को निभाने के लिए मेरे में शक्ति भी है.
बिल्कुल.
तो वो एक रियलाइजेशन होना बहुत जरूरी है. तो उसके लिए मुझे ये बहुत पसंद है मुझे, और स्वामी जी ने भी कई बार कोट किया है, जयशंकर प्रसाद की वो पंक्तियां हैं. सो हिमाद्रि तुंग श्रृंग से प्रबुद्ध शुद्ध भारती, स्वयं प्रभा समुज्वला स्वतंत्रता पुकारती, अमर्त्य वीर पुत्र हो, दृढ़ प्रतिज्ञा सो चलो, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, प्रशस्त पुण्य पंथ है, बढ़े चलो बढ़े चलो. सो दैट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वी रियलाइज, मैं अमृत पुत्र हूं, मैं ऋषियों का वंशज, आई एम दैट. I am Bharat. I'm not just living in Bharat. I am Bharat. Well, like what you have quoted on the screen of Swami Vivekananda. Freedom is never to be reached by the weak. Throw away all weaknesses. Tell your body that it is strong. Tell your mind that it is strong. And have unbound faith and hope in yourself.
Yes.
So this is the starting point. So this starting point we need to realize, yes, I have the potential. तो यहाँ पर भारती वाणी वागदेवी सरस्वती, हाँ, स्वयं प्रभा, radiant in her own effulgence, that pure wisdom, that pure, वो कह रही है माद्रि तुंग श्री, बिहार हिमालय के पुत्र है. We need, एकदम रोमांचित हो जाते. अरे we need to contemplate on the Himalayas. We need to regularly contemplate on the Himalayas. That is what our Sanskriti, our culture is. Or just we imagine there, she's giving a clarion call, Amrit Putra, Prashasta Path par. You walk. This is what value. You talk about values. The first is we commit ourselves to walk on the path. Walk on the path on which we should walk. How do we know that? Mahajano yena gatah sapanta. The path taken by the masters. You have to now realize, the youngsters especially, who is the role model. You have the wrong role model, gone. You have a role model, some actor or something, you're on the wrong path. But we have such rishis, we have some great minds. We have Swami Vivekananda. We have so many luminaries, Mahatma Gandhi, you name it. Tagore, Aurobindo, even for whatever, an exalted mind. Walk on that path. In our Shastra, our Guru Vakya, we need to first of all commit ourselves to walk on the right path. And then we need to, like I told earlier, we need to constantly cultivate our personality. Our responsibility will be able to do only when we first work upon ourselves. We're responsible towards ourselves. We need to increase our capacity. And then with that capacity, we need to build this country by sharing what we have with others. So for that, we need to realize our strengths. I would like you also, like I make the children do, you can just close your eyes for 1 minute. Just close your eyes and just contemplate on your strengths. Just contemplate on your challenges in life which you have successfully faced and overcome. We need to contemplate on our abilities, on our talents, on our strengths, on our values. First step is that already we have. हम रियलाइज करें what incidents लाइफ में हुए हैं, उसको हम कितना यूज कर रहे हैं क्या? Do we really use them? We need to ask that. Do we really put them in our daily life? Our strengths, our character strengths, our values, our virtues. Every one of us have something, some positives in us. Let us start with that. Let us start with that. Swamiji gives a beautiful story, just occurred to me. And there's an old man on the deathbed. And so he's just hardly able to see. There's the last breaths of his life, just counting his breaths, hardly able to see. And people are going and coming from his room. And for some time, he's all alone in the room. And he sees it, Dundla, so he sees that three old people are coming in the walking stick and coming to meet him. They come. So he says, I'm not able to recognize you. Who are you? We are your childhood friends. Oh, your childhood friends. Oh, but I'm not able to recognize. I'm so sorry. So we have come to offer your sympathies and, you're trying to express your love and all. They said, no. To be honest, they've come to die with you. You are shocked. What are you talking about? I'm in this sorry state. You're making fun of me? No, we are not making fun of you. Really? Who are you? Who are you? They said, we are your strengths. We are your abilities. We are your talents, which you have never used. Your dreams, which you never used. Your hopes, you never used in your life. You have come to die with you. So the first step, we need to realize, मैं कुछ हूँ, मेरे में कुछ है, काबिलियत है. And for that, we need to study Bhagavad Gita or other Shastra. We need to sit with our mentor, our guru, our elders. Tell your body it is strong. Tell your mind it is strong. That we need to use the strengths. Only then we'll be able to do something for the country. That's what I feel.
This is such a beautiful idea that all of us have so many strengths and abilities, and we really need to focus on them and spend time sharpening them, honing them. Can you share some very practical tips, that 4 or 5 tips maybe, that people can do to elevate the quality of life and use that freedom they've been blessed with, all of us?
Very nice, very nice. And I think Harvard University, when they keep some courses and all. So this is one of the important factor. This is one of the important constituents of their course about using your, first of all, identifying your character strengths, your values, your virtues, and then using them in your daily life.
Yes.
Your daily life. That is how you build your life, you build the family, and you build the country. भारत अल्टीमेटली हमारे परिवार में है. अगर परिवार ही सही नहीं है, और अभी मैक्सिमम प्रॉब्लम्स टू बी ऑनेस्ट आर हैपनिंग मोर इन द फैमिली. I'm getting more and more cases of counseling or mentoring, more concerned about fragmentation in the family.
Yes.
So that freedom presupposes responsibility that people are not understanding. But these strengths have to be used. For example, suppose you feel that your strength is kindness. Okay, you have empathy. You look back upon your life and I have compassion and all. So you try to use that more. You try to use that more in your daily life. You be a little more alert. Suppose you are good in your Shastra Padna. You're good as a learner. You have a learning ability or a tendency. So you spend some time in that. You use your ability in that. You try to grow in that. Like, for example, about you. You're such a accomplished person and in your field, and what a beautiful work you're doing. And in this work, you're not only doing for yourself, doing for others. But in that others, you're getting a deep soul satisfaction, which cannot be quantified in words. About me also. So tendency hamara hai. But that is one about tendency. The other is about your strengths, your tendencies. Somebody could be, you have different abilities, you have different talents. So once you identify them, you try to use them more. You try to use them. It could be in a practical field, in your vocation, It could be in your family, it could be in recreation, it could be anything. The more important point is values and virtues. Like I told, Bhagwan ne Bhagavad Gita, and they apply to everyone, all philosophies of the world. Right? He talks about virtues in the 16th chapter, 12th chapter, and 13th chapter. He talks about kindness and truth. And the most important is Arjavam. Arjavam, it comes in the first sloka, the last word, first sloka of the 16th chapter. Arjavam is the root for Arjuna. So we need to be Arjuna. The Arjuna comes from the root Arjavam. Arjavam means authenticity, purity of mind, purity of heart, straightforwardness. No, that we need to use it. If we don't use it, we lose it. So the best way to cultivate your values and virtues, suppose you have something weak in this, you abhyas karte na, we practice. Like in school, like I was not good in maths, okay? So I used to spend more and more time in maths. So you go on doing, you get adapted it. Similarly, the virtues, values, strengths you're really good at, cultivate them more, use them. But which you are little weak at, उसका और अधिक अभ्यास करें. For that पहले तो हमको उसका वैल्यू का वैल्यू तो समझना पड़ेगा, इसकी कितनी जरूरत है, जरूरत कितनी है. सबसे पहले फैमिली में जरूरत. You talk about give practical examples. तो practical, the most practical जो प्रार्थना हर शिविर में कराता हूँ, जो स्वामी जी ने करवाया था, वो है सत्वेषु मैत्री गुणेषु प्रमोदम क्लिष्टेषु जीवेषु कृपा परत्वम माध्यस्थ भावम विपरीत वृत्तौ सदा ममात्मा विदधातु देव. The most practical and the most it should be used every day we can do. With the good people, we have friendliness. Why we try to put them down? Why to poke fun at them? The good people, we try to befriend them. We don't be jealous towards them. And then those who are happy, I loved one word, empathetic joy. We talk of empathetic sorrow. Let us have empathetic joy. Let us have joy in the other person's joy. Let us be happy about his accomplishment. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Unless we do that, we'll not be free. Simple as that. And we need to start with our family. We need to express our appreciation. The parents, I'm telling you about, parents make this mistake. They appreciate in their heart. Yes, they do. They love their children. They don't express it so many times in words. So that expressing. Or feel compassion, karuna for the people. Don't have apathy. Have compassion. Have kindness. So important. I'm telling you, you should see this film. It won the Oscars this time. The Oscars for the short animation film. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. Just a 34-minute film is all about kindness and love. That is what freedom is all about. The most important, the last one, because we don't have that, we are not free at all, and that is upeksha. Upeksha is overlook. Have patience towards those who are against you. So this is the practical side. We give them time. Don't judge them immediately. Nobody is perfect. We immediately judge them, immediately brand them. No, we can't do that. We should never do that. We get become a prisoner of all our those miserliness, small-mindedness, or self-centeredness. The biggest, I read somewhere very true, biggest disease today in the world is not cancer, not nothing. It's just self-centeredness. Me, mine, and slowly, we have a penury. Tagore talks of penury of the heart, penury of the mind. That we need to really take care. So that is how we use whatever qualities, try to use them. Just be expressive, connect with people, smile. Ask somebody, how are you? See how free you start feeling within. Why do we don't get sleep? Why do we get stress? Why do we get depression? Why? Because it's so shackled within my problems. An experiment has been taken by doctors of depression patients who are so much a prisoner of their emotions, negative emotions. Just that tell them, okay, you want to come out? Okay, you go and help somebody.
Yes.
The person who already suffering, go and help somebody. By helping others, they're relieved of their depression, of their sadness. Now, what is this all about? It's all about using these divine qualities, using the strengths and values to share with others, connect with others. More we do that, more we'll be free.
Absolutely.
I think that is, I totally believe in that is what I've learned at the feet of my master. Yeah, it's most important.
This is so beautiful. While we are still talking about, how we should use our freedom, I think there's another very important thing that is tied to the concept of freedom, which is how to resist temptations. Because with freedom, sometimes it can be misinterpreted as, I can do anything, like you were just talking about it. So, what should one be doing to resist temptations, and how should one do that? What practices?
Very nice. Beautiful, very, very pertinent question. For that, see, you know what, I have if this question was asked by a student in the camp, for everything I make them close their eyes. So it is he'd see the aankh band. So they now, they start repeating that. So that is the way. Unless you close your eyes, you cannot open your inner eyes. So all about the entire process is totally look within. Ultimately, it is that you need to spiritualize your vision of life. So you need to look within and have a tendency of talking to yourself, preferably taking your name. When you take your name, what happens? And you are a psychologist. I'm just a learner, a novice. But when you take your name, what happens is you get a third person perspective. You step out of yourself. You step out of your own likes, dislikes, your own pulse and pressures. So as a sakshi, as a witness, as a loving witness. Why loving witness? Because you're taking your name, you're talking to yourself as your best friend would talk to you. And ultimately, our best friend is ourselves. So then you start talking to yourself. You talk to yourself, see, remember those old times, see that temptation you resisted. Remember that temptation you resisted. Remember that time. Remember that time. Don't just remember, visualize. See how you remember, you resisted it, you understood the negative effects of that temptation, and I congratulate you. This you are talking to yourself. So what is it? You are increasing your self-worth, you are increasing your strength, like Vivekananda is telling. Tell your mind that it is strong. You cannot tell the mind it is strong just like that. You repeat 1000 times, the mind is not going to get strong. It has to be based on reality. So I coined the word, it's a realistic positivity, not just a positivity in the air, in the clouds, a realistic positivity. So reminding yourself of your past accomplishments, reminding yourself of some Guru Vakya, reminding yourself of how your life is going to be after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, reminding yourself of the higher purpose of your life. Start reminding. So you're talking. So what do? You have two levels of the mind, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So the conscious mind is the gardener. The subconscious mind is the garden, right? So when we do this realistic, positive contemplation based on reality, ground facts, what we are doing is we are planting those seeds in the subconscious mind. Only by doing that, we are able to create that habit. We need to create the habit to resist temptation. Not that every time, अरे मेरे को वापस मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, इतनी ज्यादा पर्सनालिटी हम डेवलप करते हैं that we are free from the temptations just like that. So we need to go on. First of all, first step is reminding ourselves of the past accomplishments where we have resistant any temptation, not necessarily that temptation, any temptation, right? Second step would be about that temptation. We reflect on the negatives of that temptation. You talk to yourself. You want to do this, think about it. You'll get some pleasure. Okay, you'll get some sensual pleasure, the smoking or drinking or whatever. It could be even like I talked about children. It's more about social media. Or you get some kicks. You get some kicks, but then life is going to kick you. So when we start having a long-term perspective, a long-term vision of life, so we need to visualize. Third step would be, the second step is about contemplating on the negatives. First is the positives you have, the negatives of that temptation. And the third is visualizing your life after 5 years, 10 years. And visualizing yourself without the temptation. Visualizing that. The third step. And then the ultimate step is praying to the Lord, praying to the Guru in you, praying to the divine in you. Please give me the strength. I want to be free because freedom is my natural self. Amritasya putra. I am free. I am actually free. मैं तो आत्मा हूँ. I'm not the body with the soul. I'm a soul with the body. The soul is always free. So please help me. I am trying to do. I want your strength. I want your blessings. It certainly works. And then if you fail, no problem. No problem. हम स्वामी जी कहते हम चल पड़े, चलते चलते गिर पड़े, गिर कर फिर उठे, अरे उठकर फिर चले. So we learn from our failures. The failures does not make us a failure. The failures are just a learning lesson. Should not get in the trap of blame game, self blame or blame others. उसने मेरे को करवाया, see that fellow, he forced me into smoking, just taking 2 puffs. Okay, you took 2 puffs. Work upon yourself again, 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 and again. Life is all about that. That I think it should be that way. But ultimately, we need to realize I am responsible towards myself, and we need to take others along with us. We need to take others. Responsibility की बात आपने, अरे हम देश के हैं. Do we realize this independence? This country is me. I am the country. What am I doing for the country? I can छोटी छोटी चीजें कर सकते. We can stop wasting water. Water, simple things. Water. Do we take care? Are we alert about water? Are we alert about electricity? Are we alert about nature? Are we alert about all these things?
Yes.
Are we connecting? Are we sharing ourselves with people around us? We need to do it. So that is how we, I think, perform our responsibilities with a big smile. We enjoy it. And the more we do it, more we feel good inside. This altruism, we call it altruism, you call it yagya karma, you call it connecting, sharing, but it gives you so much fulfillment that in modern terms, oxytocin, it increases. You feel good in that. You call it love hormone, but actually it is all spiritual. It's all deep spiritual evolution goes on happening. It is a continuous process. It's a continuous process. It's very, very important. I don't know. I just get carried away, but
No, it's beautiful. As the common citizen of this country, what do you think that the common person, the regular citizen like me and you, can do in order to give, to really understand that this freedom is not easily earned. It has been earned with a lot of sacrifice,
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
that we should show respect for those who gave it to us, who earned it for us. What are some of the things? What is the message you'd like to give?
बहुत जरूरी है ये, बहुत ही जरूरी है. तो इसमें तो वो कृष्ण भगवान की बात याद आती है. वो गोवर्धन बाढ़ आए, इंद्र जी ने इतनी बारिश डाल दी, तो वो क्या किए? He lifted the entire Govardhan पर्वत on the tip of his little finger. But then what did the Gwala do? What did the Gwala? हर एक ग्वाला वो क्या है, अपनी अपनी वो ग्वाला की छड़ी होती है ना, गाय को चराने की जो छड़ी होती है, हर एक ग्वाला अपनी अपनी छड़ी को वो भी उसमें नीचे टिका रहे हैं. अरे मैं भी जरा भगवान को जरा मदद करूं, मैं भी जरा मदद करूं, मैं भी जरा मदद करूं, मैं भी जरा मदद करूं, मैं भी, आई शुड शेयर. ये एक भावना आ जाए. स्टार्ट विथ स्माइलिंग एट पीपल, व्हाई फ्राउन एट पीपल?
Yes.
Start with holding hands. Start with asking, how are you? Start by stepping out of yourself. अरे बड़ा बड़ा काम नहीं करे. We just try to touch people's lives. Kindness, love, empathy, forgiveness. All this is so important. Atmiyata. We just let ourselves flow. And a sense of responsibility. Most important is the ecology. How is not just an eco-sensitive culture, how is an eco-reverential culture. हम हर जगह डिविनिटी को देखते. मैं तो आज यही कहूंगा, हर सिटीजन को ट्राई टू एटलीस्ट टच सम डिविनिटी एवरीवेयर. इसीलिए हम हर जगह डिविनिटी को देखते. लेट अस बी अलर्ट, लेट अस बी अवेयर, लेट अस बी सेंसिटिव, लेट अस बी रेवरेंशियल, लेट अस आदर का भाव और एक कृतज्ञता का भाव हम नेचर के प्रति लाए. ये देश कब टिकेगा? जब देश तभी टिकेगा जब हमारी प्रकृति, हमारी धरती मां टिकेगी. तो you're exploiting the mother earth. we are alert हम हो जाए. That sensitiveness, I think, is most important. Self-centeredness से निकलकर हम selflessness पर आए. एक you know what, that yajna principle, what it is, I have received so much from the world, so I have received so much from Bharata. I want to give back to the Bharat.
Yes.
I need to give back to Bharat in whatever way. One student reminds me, one student, she asked me, sir, you know what, I want to serve the army. So what can I do? I said, what are you studying? She said, I'm studying chartered accountancy. But I'm studying, how can I serve the country? And I said, you want to serve the country, you want to be a chartered accountant. When you be a chartered accountant, give your 100%. Give your 100% to what you are doing. Let it be soulful. Karma yoga. Don't worry about the results. Don't get attached. Yes, you have a goal, but don't do just for money. Don't do just for fame. Do it as a great opportunity God has given you. Whether you are a CA, whether you are sweeping the floor, anything. That is how you serve. And then take others along with you. Try to help others. Try to guide others. So what I would try to tell is, anybody in any field, housewife hai, she also contributes. She, when she is preparing the food, she's preparing for the divine which is residing in all the family members. So she's doing for Bharata. You're doing, so that ego will not come. Oh, I am doing something. That should not come. So I think that is most, that is how every citizen, एक alert, ये भारत एक ऋण तो लगना चाहिए. Feel that ऋण, that, oh my God, I'm so grateful. The gratitude comes first. It should be deep. रोज इसके बारे में सोचना चाहिए, मुझे कितना सब मिल रहा है, इस देश से कितना सब मिल रहा है. मैं तो कहता हूँ रोज रात को before going to sleep, you should think about what this country is giving you. This country is everything. This country is the Himalayas. Himalayas are getting the rivers, the Ganges. Take the mind right up to there. When you start feeling that you can never pollute the water, you can never waste the water. So that sensitiveness, that vision has to be larger. That vision has to be deeper. That when we start connecting with the Bharata, right from the Himalayas to the Kanyakumari, right from our Gujarat, right up to the far east, to the Assam and the northeast. When we connect it to when we feel that pulse, when we feel the sorrow of the people, when we are moved by the plight of people, when we have that empathy, that sensitivity, and then we resolve, okay, in whatever small way, I'll try to do something. Swamiji always used to have chocolates in his pocket. So if anybody used to give a chocolate. Oh, now that is what we contribute to the country. Yes. In whatever small measure we can do, if nothing else, at least can ask, how are you? And that let us come from the depth of our heart. In whatever small measure we can touch somebody's life. That is most important. And our responsibility towards the country, we don't waste the resources.
Yes.
Resources, scarce resources, we can't do that. And whatever is there in us, the wealth in us, whatever, try to share it. Sharing is so important. I think that should be done. And when you start feeling so free inside, you feel like a bird flying high in the heavens. Feel that way. Always. Never feel shackled. Feel so. And you feel fulfilled also. You feel happy about the day. You spend the day so fruitfully. Always have humility. Never let the ahankar to come. That humility will come only when we feel, no, I'm not doing anything special. I'm just performing my responsibility, and that also as an instrument of the divine.
Yes.
The divine is in me, the divine is in the other person, the divine is in the plant, the divine is in the ant, in the squirrel, the divine is in that plant, in the flower, in the thorn, everywhere it is. Let me connect to that in whatever way I can. Whatever way I can. Can be very, very, no problem. That our intention And then intention, from the intention we bring it to action. So all again start with the mind. So let us mind the mind. Start with the mind, the thoughts. The mind, there the thoughts and the emotions. And then rein in with the discriminating intellect. And then translate it to beautiful actions. That is how, and always realize our strengths, our values, our virtues, our potential. Always remember the Guru and the God. They're holding our hand, guiding us. I think how to live a free life.
Wonderful. I'm so grateful to you for your time, and it was wonderful.
I just I'm very blessed to be so much in touch with my master even today. Who is not in body, but even today, and so whatever made sense today is all his. That is all I can say. My pranams at the lotus feet of my Guru. And thank you so much. Such a pleasure to connect to you. Thank you.
Thank
So
you very
much.
much.